In a time and place when you can work from anywhere,
two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
And they're calling it workationing.
The ladies have gotten the fuck out of Prague and made it to Amsterdam.
We're a little more homeless than we're comfortable with.
Carrie's Tinder date takes her to a gay bar.
And Kelly's Tinder date launches a feminist rant you don't want to miss.
This is the Workationing Podcast.
What kind of tea are you drinking?
This is a delicious licorice mint.
I know that. It's a good nighttime tea. I am drinking some sort of chocolate coconut rooibos, which I always want to call Rubios, but I guess that's not right.
Yeah, I never know what it's called. I just don't say it is what I don't do.
You say I'll have that tea.
Uh-huh.
The brown box.
The one. The one we go through like it's going out of style.
I travel with tea, which is why we are drinking this kind of tea right now instead of the Hotel Earl Grey or English blend.
Yeah, no, that's not going to fly. I mean, in a pinch, but goddamn, you know?
Oh, God, when I reach for the English breakfast, you know that times are hard.
Yeah, no, because we can do better than that. Actually, we love hot tea so much.
And it's a saying. It's a colloquialism. The kids on the streets are saying it these days.
Yeah.
And that's some hot tea.
That's some hot tea. And that means it's some good gossip, girl.
Yeah. Some hot tea. That tea is hot.
So, as some of you may already know, we last week launched our new web series, Hot Tea with Your Gringas.
Hot tea with your gringas.
We will be serving hot tea and also the other kind of hot tea.
Yeah, we're going to be spilling all kinds of secrets, travel hacks, untold stories that you won't listen to on this podcast.
No, not out in public where people can see it or hear it. But we will tell you some of the stuff that we get up to over on our Facebook group. You can reach out to us. It's either Kari or Kelly at workationing.com. You can also reach out to Kari and Kelly at workationing.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Workationing. You can send a request to join the group.
You just search in Facebook for Hot Tea with Your Gringas. We're going to pop right on up.
We will tell you, though, that right now the Facebook group is being set up exclusively for our Patreon subscribers. So you're going to want to head over there first before you send us that invite.
Yes. And so actually we're launching 2 web series. The first one is open to all over at facebook.com/workationing. That is every Thursday at 6 p.m. But then
EST.
Exactly. That matters. 6 p.m. EST Thursdays. You can catch us on Facebook Live over at facebook.com/workationing. Or you can, subscribe on Patreon and get the really hot tea.
Yep, in the After Hours show, which is on the Facebook group, immediately following. So
catch us there at 6:30.
Yep.
Spilling some hot tea. You get to see where we're living. That's kind of cool. People always have questions about that. We answer questions in real-ish time.
Yeah, just as fast as these old granny eyes can read the comments off the Facebook Live, we get back to you.
Yes. And sometimes we miss them, but then
your
we get
results
back to
may vary, but we always get back to everybody, if not during the show, definitely after.
Just eventually. So make sure you tune in for that because you get to see us not in person exactly, but close enough.
Close enough. Let me tell you, this face was made for TV. I've always been told that.
Well, let me tell you, my voice is made for radio.
Well, we're doing great.
Okay. So we're in Amsterdam, and we are at a hotel. We came to Amsterdam several days early because we learned from our mistakes in Acapulco.
We can be taught. It takes us a few times.
We are not a lost cause.
Yeah, but
that investment pays off eventually.
Eventually, we wise up.
So when our Airbnb host hooked us up with absolutely not what we paid for or was advertised, and we ended up in the projects, I'm not even convinced that we were in the city of Prague. It took a very long time to get to the actual city of Prague.
Yeah.
In an Uber or car.
Yeah, no, that was a complete mess. And on top of that, the other thing that we learned is not just to get out of a bad situation, but also to put ourselves into a good situation because, we got so sick in Acapulco. We were under an insane amount of stress when we were in Colombia. Like, there's so many legs of this vacation, this workcation. I'm sorry, God.
Excuse me?
A what now?
Not in years.
Yeah, never. Not me.
Why would you vacation when working is so much fun?
Right. Never would I ever vacation. But so many legs of this vacation have, they've taken a lot out of us. They've taken their toll. We've struggled through and been champs, but like, why? You know what I mean? Let's not do that again. And going to Amsterdam, we could have figured it out in Prague, but we just kind of wanted to find a place that we could sit tight and have things just be a little bit more on easy mode and like just recuperate, get our bodies healthy again.
We've already been to Amsterdam. Both of us have already spent time in Amsterdam. We both knew that we were going to love it because we loved it before.
Yeah, it's also really helpful that English is totally viable in Amsterdam.
Yes.
The thing about Prague is that you can use English there not nearly as well as you can use English in Amsterdam. And I have I don't even have a starting point. I know you don't either with Czech. If we could have gone to a Spanish-speaking country or an English-speaking country to make things easier, but Czech was just a no.
Where I come from, when you see a graphic that looks like the number 6, you pronounce that 6.
Yeah, it's a number.
But out there, it's a letter.
Yeah, and I just can't with that.
I didn't know. I was just over it.
I can't ask you where the grocery store when you've got numbers in your words.
No, we struggled. So we are no longer struggling. We are in a hotel in Amsterdam. I guess now we are still struggling because we're struggling in a different way.
Well, I am struggling because I got sick in Prague.
Right.
And as we were landing from our flight from Prague to Amsterdam, you know how your ears kind of pop?
Right.
Mine did not at all. And it's almost better now, but it was like 36 hours of just feeling like I was completely underwater. My ears would not pop. It hurt. I couldn't hear anything. And you get that kind of like disoriented feeling when you're, and it was just like, well, this is great. Very glad that this happened.
So we had a place lined up through expat rental services, which, as we talked about on the last episode of our podcast, it turned out to be a third of the cost, basically, to rent an apartment directly through expat rental services as opposed to a similar kind of apartment on Airbnb. So the problem with that is that Klaus at Expat Rental Services really wanted to show us the apartment in person.
Yeah, he would not rent it to us sight unseen.
And I was like, no, this is great. We have just been living like this all year, Klaus. I've been looking at photos and saying, that looks good. And sometimes the place we show up to isn't even the place in the photos and we stay there anywhere. Like, Klaus, I think this is going to be fine, man. Just let me have it.
We'll roll these dice, Klaus, all day, all night. Gamblers.
So Klaus didn't want to do that. He said that was a definite no-go. So the first thing we do is schedule an appointment to tour the apartment that we know that we want anyway, the same day that we land.
Yeah, so we got off the plane at 9, and we were looking at that apartment by noon.
And let me tell you something about the Dutch, which I had been forewarned about. So with the housing, it's highly competitive out here. And what happens is the, landlord opens up the house and there are appointments and people come through, check it out. And the landlord just picks the one that they like the best.
Yeah.
So that meant that we really had to put ourselves together and look like ladies you might want to rent an apartment to. It was a no yoga pants and hoodie situation.
Which is so stressful when you are getting off of a plane. You can't make me wear real pants on a plane. Fight me.
We put on dresses. I wore my running heels.
Yeah, we really spruced it up real quick in the hotel and ourselves look
like very nice ladies.
Very, very nice ladies. Only not really. I feel like we put on our finery. Everyone here is so fucking chic. I just bought, because I've lost a ton of weight, I just bought basically all of the clothes that are in my suitcase.
Right.
And I can already tell that just none of them are going to do.
I have never seen such gorgeous people. We were walking down the street and you and I both stopped dead in our tracks because this lady on a Vespa with the most gorgeous flowing brown hair, and she was wearing a helmet, but it looked good anyway, and her outfit was on point, and she was wearing heels. You could see
like platforms. She looked so fucking chic, like a Vogue editorial from a dream. We both were just like, oh my god.
You know she smelled good.
Oh, and she wasn't even going to get helmet hair. She was just going to take that helmet out and like shake out that beautiful mane, and it was just going to fall perfectly into place, just right into line because it knew who it was dealing with.
I have never been so jealous in my entire life. It was really like a stop you dead in your tracks moment. And we both were like, wow, so that's what we're dealing with out here.
Yeah, I really am going to need to up my game.
Top knots don't really fly out here.
Not so much.
No, and the men, their game is on point too. I have never seen such precision haircuts before.
So good. And guys back in the States, take note, there is actually a way to have a very tight haircut that does not make you look like a mini Nazi. So like try harder.
Right. Right. That alt-right haircut.
Yeah,
is
like
a little,
pass.
But it's not, they don't take it that far out here. It's just very nice.
And they're just biking down the street in like a linen suit, just looking crisp and fresh and just blonde and just
so well tailored.
It's just I can't even with these people.
I don't think the Dutch must have some sort of gene that prevents them from going bald. The only bald people here are tourists.
That's true. There's a lot of really good hairlines. They're all very tall, well built, well dressed. This is basically where they grow supermodels. I mean, probably more so Sweden, but still.
I haven't been to Sweden.
I haven't either.
You're not making me want to go.
No.
Because this is giving me a complex. Like, the people here are so gorgeous that I'm just like, well.
Yeah, I'm trying not to go there in my head, but it's weirdly intimidating to be here. And I'm not the kind of person who ever really feels that way. Like, we have gone places and I have noticed that we stuck out and I have felt some kind of way about it and we've whatever, but I never really let it get to me. Mm-hmm. But this is just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, so that's what we're up against when we're touring apartments. And, I'm not going to say that the Dutch discriminate, but I'm not going to say that they don't.
Well, and I just feel like overall the sentiment towards outsiders and tourists in a city like this where space is at a premium and there's tons of tourism, I just have a hard time believing that an American is going to be their first choice.
Well, I mean, we got the apartment.
We did.
There's that. But it had literally just come on the market that day.
And we showed up and we're just like, yes, please, yes, take our money, yes.
He kept wanting to show us more bedrooms and I was just like, no, but I already said I'd take it though. It shares a wall with the Rembrandt Museum.
You could not beat the location at all. And we've even got a little balcony that looks over the canal and this like really cute little street market.
Every window looks out over a canal.
Yeah, the views alone. Like, we walked in, I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to be looking out this window anyways. I don't care what's in this other room.
And it's nice and modern.
It is. It's clean. It's beautiful. It's going to be a great space to work.
As soon as we can get in it, because here's another thing about the Dutch is that they don't take PayPal.
They're like, who? Never heard of her.
And I was like, well, I'll write you a check. And they were like, a what?
A what now?
No joke. They were just like, is this the 1940s?
Yeah, they were like, I'm sorry.
Let me go get my pork pie hat.
Yeah. They were just like, okay. No, they were not into that at all.
No.
They didn't like that answer.
No, that was a shame. So the other thing is that you have options. So ideally, you've got a European bank account, because if you've got a European bank account, it transfers with the quickness. You get a confirmation within a couple of hours.
No, I didn't realize until this experience that the American banking system is like in the dark ages.
Yeah.
The way that we do things, they won't even, European banks won't even like talk to American banks. They're just like, no, we're not doing that.
So there's an intermediary type of thing called TransferWise, but that takes a couple days to connect to your bank account. And if you try and transfer, my bank told me that it was going to take me a couple days. We have different banks.
Right.
They're both large banks in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yours told you the same thing. And I'm like, but I got to get into this apartment. Plus, I already signed the paperwork. And he was like, I believe you. I have faith in you, Kari. But, this landlady is just... She wants the whole payment up front, which, okay, fine. I had a $1,000 max per day that we could send through TransferWise. And that took it out of a credit account. So I had to send, or I am in the process.
Well, and they wanted first and last.
Yes.
Also, because we had like a security deposit. Yeah. So that's going to take us a few days. So we are camped out in a hotel, which is not ideal because the hotels here are wildly expensive.
This wasn't that bad, but I also had some points to cash in.
Right. Like
Sometimes
this would
you
not
save up your points for
this is not a
occasions like this.
long-term solution though on any level.
Absolutely not. So we do have a place to live. We know where that's going to be. I'm very excited about it. And Amsterdam's great. The men look great. We've been pre-Tindering.
We did pre-Tinder. You had much greater success than I did. My pre-Tinder was a real womp-womp.
So I started talking to this guy, Paul, in Acapulco.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been talking for a while. And he met me the first day we arrived. So we flew in, took showers, got pretty to go con this lady into renting her apartment to us instead of a local. And then I guess I did some work. And a couple hours later, Paul met me downstairs at the hotel.
Yeah.
Which was cute because he was excited to meet me, you know?
That was cute. I was dying of my ear still not popping. So I just grouchily stayed in the hotel room.
Our first date, he took me to this place up in Nord. Mm-hmm. We had to take a ferry to get to it. It's a free ferry.
Yeah, that's like north. If you've ever been here before, it's like on the other side of the water from the
Central Station.
From the Central Station, yeah.
Right. And so up to the top of this building we went, and it was one of those rotating restaurant
that's
things.
Cool. I love those.
And it was very fancy, and it was cool, and the company was great. And then afterward, he took me to a gay bar, which, you know, I'm always down for a weird time.
Yeah.
But it was drag queen bingo, and we had our first kiss at drag queen bingo, which I thought was very cute.
That is cute.
And I've seen him since then, too. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, no, that seems like it's going really well. Mine, on the other hand, did not go so well. I was really excited to meet him because, I don't know, he seemed interesting and he's a documentarian. But we met and it was a kind of instant, like no chemistry kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't working, but we really soldiered on through that date. Anyways, the thing that really got me though was that, and this is something that we've talked about before, was that this guy, after I talked about my work a little bit, basically like throughout the night kept bringing up that like I work too much, that I care too much about what people think about me, that I like just like real judgments about, you know, the work that I'm doing and all of that. And I personally just don't have time for that energy in my life.
Right.
I'm shocked at the ways in which men in particular feel very comfortable being like prescriptive in their advice about that sort of thing that I did not fucking ask for.
No, and you met this guy all of 30 minutes ago, and he has all these opinions?
Right, about how I work too much. And it's like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of that before. It just all happened so fast, the way that I like packed up my entire life and like traveled the world. I just never really thought it through. No, bitch. I really am doing all of this very much on purpose. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing, and I like it. Thank you.
I'm working towards something over here.
Right. And I think, I mean, I don't want to make assumptions about him because I'm bitching about him making assumptions about me, but I'm going to make one anyways, which is that I kind of assume that he wouldn't have. I just don't see men taking the flack for working so much like as women do. Like if a man is like starting a business and starting an enterprise and doing something and like being creative and putting all that together, I don't see a lot of people lining up to tell that man that he's working too hard and that he's too materialistic and that his priorities are in the wrong place.
No, they tell him blood, sweat, and tears. You put your nose to that grindstone and you keep working.
No, like a dude in my position is building character and I am chasing after a bunch of materialistic shit.
I get told that I work too much all the time. I don't know. Maybe that's true to a certain extent, but I really like what I do. And it brings me happiness and fulfillment. I'm seeing a lot of green arrows that point upward with regard to what I'm doing.
Right.
And it's satisfying and I want to keep building that. And I didn't get here from nothing. The reason why I'm where I'm at right now is because I put in really long hours for a really long time so that I could live a really specific type of way and live the way that I want to and be very intentional about not just how I live my life, but how I'm building my life so that I can have as much of what I want as possible. But when a guy does that, it's like, go man, you get it. When a lady does it, it's like, God, aren't you worried about burning out?
Yeah. I think we've really noticed this year all the different ways in which our like society really tries to smack down a woman for just wanting things. Like, God for fucking bid.
You can want to be 10 pounds thinner. That's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
You can want
Some
that.
people are allowed to. But like really wanting something, you know, you're constantly being told like you're too materialistic, you work too hard, you think about your image too much. Because God forbid I use the like one tool that I have as a woman. Like God forbid I pull that one lever.
Well, and statistically, objectively, if you're being smart about your career and how people treat you in the world, it behooves you to pay attention to your image. We had a whole podcast episode about this. Harsh truths.
Yeah, I would, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, that's one of my favorite episodes. And we go more in detail, like in the dollars and cents and all of this about why image matters so much. And it's not because like you should be basing your self-esteem on that. It's not because, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to find self-worth and all of that. But the problem is that I'm just saying in terms of what we're saying is that in terms of building an intentional life that gives you the things that you want, there's a pretty good chance that thinking about your image is going to get you what you want faster, depending on what it is. And you don't have to buy into that and you don't have to do any of it. But like, don't shame me for just looking around and using the tools and the information that are available to me to make my life something that makes me happy. Like, fuck you. I will if I want to.
Well, and also statistically, all of these things that we're saying are true. Turns out you are perceived as more capable and competent and trustworthy and likable when you wear noticeable makeup, glamorous makeup, they called it.
Right.
That outperformed natural makeup. Sorry, girl next door look. You got to glam it up a little bit more.
Right.
And both of those outperformed when you're not wearing any makeup at all. Because, girl, you look tired today. Are you feeling okay?
Right. No, I mean, and listen, no one hates this shit more than we do. Kari wrote a whole article about the 500-hour advantage that people, women in particular, get when they start doing remote work. Part of the reason that we do what we do the way that we do it is because, girl, I'm not getting up an hour and a half, 2 hours early so that I can make myself look a way that makes people think that I'm capable of doing a job that I'm already fucking slaying.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to waste all of that time trying to convince people that I am who I fucking say I am. And it's so much easier for me to demonstrate that without taking up all of my time by working remotely.
Well, and when you do work remotely, you're judged entirely by the timeliness and quality of your work.
Exactly.
And I find that really levels the playing field for women of all ages.
Right. And so it's not that we think it's cool or that we think it's fair or that we think it's okay, that that's the reality of the situation. And we've done everything that we can personally to opt out of that bullshit. But some days, girl, you got to suit up and put on your war paint and get out there.
Like when you need Klaus to score you a sweet deal on a nice apartment.
Yeah. Right? Exactly.
We do call it war paint.
Yeah.
When we're getting ready to go to a business meeting. Just going to suit up.
Just suit up.
Put on our war paint.
Costuming is what it is. And that's fine. But yeah, no, that guy, that was a real quick no for me because I'm living my life the way that I want to live it. And everyone who doesn't like it can die mad.
Well, and it's not all perfect all the time either.
No, girl.
But we're trying a very specific way. It seems to be working for us. I'm seeing progress over here.
I am
You're about
too.
to be in women's health.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing is I mentioned the women's health article and he was just like, I don't understand. I don't know. We've talked about this, about how so many men feel like they can talk to us about our diets and our weight loss and all of this. But Kari and I get such different messaging. I think it really pisses Kari off.
It drives me crazy. It's so bad.
Because Kari just gets from like all these dudes like, you could really lose like 10 pounds and you'd be great.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be so much hotter if you lost like 5-10 pounds.
And to be clear, like you're not a big girl on any level.
No.
And I, on the other hand, am a much more luxuriously appointed lady. And I think that a lot of the men that I, let's say, date are seeking out that particular kind of situation. And they all tell me, like, no, your body is insane. Like, you absolutely should not lose any weight. And I'm just like, yeah, but I don't really care what you think. And
again, I didn't ask you.
Yeah, men are like buses. There'll be another one by in about 5 minutes. So I actually don't care. But thank you. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to make major decisions about my career and my health based on you and your particular willingness to fuck me. It's like, goddamn, there's 3.5 billion more of you. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm traveling the world. I can meet any one of them.
Yeah, I just hate that. It's like, thank you for your opinion, but that I didn't fucking ask for.
It's rough. So, do you want to close it out on that note? We could talk about the hotel rooms here. I'm real salty about the beds. They like to trick you and tell you that you've got a double bed, but you don't have a double bed. What you have is 2 single beds, dorm room style, that have been pushed together, and then there's one double sheet over it, but you still fall through that crack in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so you feel like you've got this double bed, but don't try getting anywhere near the middle because it's going to get weird.
No.
You just wake up and it's like you're being swallowed. It's like, ah. So there's that, which is not ideal. And I don't know how they deal with it because these are some of the tallest ass people I've ever seen in my life. I just would think that they would need a little more room. But I feel like Dutch people probably just put themselves away at night. They just lay down on their back and like primly cross their hands across their chest and just power down.
Do you think they remove their nightcaps first?
I don't even know. I'm not even classy enough to know what proper nightcap procedure is, but whatever it is, I'm sure that's what they do. Whether it is, I mean, I don't know if, are you supposed to take it off?
You know what they're not doing is out partying at like 11:30 on a Tuesday.
No, it's crazy to me. This is such a party city. The city itself has, well, it looks like a party city. It looks like it ought to be a party city. And the flag of the city, it looks like a pirate flag. It's red and black and it has 3 white X's on it.
Mm-hmm. Triple X.
Yeah, and you're just like, woo, and all you hear about it's like the weed and the hookers and it's great. But this place, good luck to you finding anything open after 10, 11 p.m.
They don't have 24-hour supermarkets here.
No,
I don't
bars
even know if
aren't even
McDonald's.
open after midnight.
No, not during the week, as far as I can tell. There's one right across the street from us, and
They just close that shit down. Well, I heard there are laws about noise and people being outside after certain times. And I think so much of this whole place is just like little tiny cafes and bars and stuff with seats, chairs outside, because literally all you want to do when you come to this city is just sit outside and look at it.
all of the chairs, when you're sitting on an outdoor patio, they're not facing each other like you want to have a conversation face to face with somebody. They're all facing toward the sidewalk so you can people watch and just look at the city.
Yeah, I mean, and that's honestly the most fun thing in the world when you're here. Like, it's the best. But I think that if after a certain point, they're not allowed to have people outside. They're not allowed to have a certain amount of noise. And so I think a lot of those places just close because people don't really want to they came there to be outside. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's very strange, but you can't get... We come from the United States, the home of fourth meal, you know,
Yes.
the home of Taco Bell, open till 4 a.m.
What do you want? And if you live in New York City, you can literally have whatever you want.
Whatever you want at any time of the day, 24/7.
Do you want street meat at 4:30 in the morning? Girl, you go get you some. You're in New York.
Yeah, literally anything you want, but not here. Here at 11 p.m., everyone has their nightcap wherever it's supposed to be on or off their head. Then they have, properly, probably moisturized even. They've put themselves to bed in a matching linen sort of pajama situation. No, probably cotton.
They definitely wear matching top and bottom pajamas, though.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the nightcap is also that same print. Again, I don't know the nightcap etiquette any more than you do. I'm an American. I sleep in a tank top and some booty shorts.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Samesies. And that's not my kind of nightcap, but you can't get one of those here either, which, you know what, is for the best. Because honestly, there is no decision that I ever really make after 11 p.m. that is good for me.
Unless it's to go to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe meditate. You can read a book at 11 p.m.
I'm certainly not doing anything outside of the house that's good for me.
No, probably not. Coming back from a sports game, maybe.
Yeah. But most of the time it's like you go out and then you have a couple drinks. It's so crazy that it's closed though, because back in the States, like 11 p.m. is maybe you're thinking about getting ready to go to the bar.
That's too late for me.
Well,
I'm in my older mid to late 27s though. Just barely.
But for most people, that would be totally normal. And there's lots of like young happening people here. I'm just surprised that by 11 p.m. they're like, oh,
time to go to sleep.
But I mean, they all seem to have their shit together on a level that I've never seen anyone have their shit together. And
they've got to wake up in the morning and bike to work. If you had to bike to work every morning, rain, sleet, or snow, wouldn't you?
I'd probably have
be
to
resting
change
up
some
at 11
things.
p.m.
I'd have to change some things about my life.
This remote work is looking better and better the more I think about it.
Yeah, I've got a bike to nowhere.
No. Okay, so did we do it?
I think we did it.
Hopefully, we'll be in our apartment the next time we record this podcast.
God, I fucking hope so.
Here's hoping.
This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you've heard here, please consider donating at patreon.com/workationing. That's patreon.com. All proceeds will go towards funding our bucket list items.
To keep up with us in real time, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Workationing. Or on our website at, you guessed it, workationing.com. That's workationing.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
I need more snare in my headphones.
I don't know whether to be proud or ashamed that I know that that's Eminem.
Yeah.